Hello, this is Dr. Garrett Castleberry, Associate Professor and Program Director of Communication, Media, and Ethics at Mid-America Christian University. I am here with a preview of the course themes that we will be covering in COM 4103, Special Topics in Media Studies. Our special emphasis in this course, Future Shock, Science Fiction Cinema. As we look at future shock and attempt to distinguish it from other types of science fiction that we may or may not be familiar with, we're going to look at 5 core themes in this accelerated course cycle, where we will begin with looking at ecological disaster in week 1 in an effort to understand where some of the narrative anxieties emerge from when a future shock story is put together. What influences writers or filmmakers or artists draw from in an effort to portray unique stories on the screen or the page. In week 2, we are going to examine post-apocalyptic wastelands, which may be the most familiar aspect of this particular subgenre. The post-apocalyptic wasteland as a concept is something that draws from 20th century history in Western society and in the US in particular with regards to post-war, Cold War nuclear paranoia. And so the post-apocalyptic wasteland often can emerge from both human conditions, but also the ecological conditions that we consider in week 1. With week 3, we make a harsh turn into a pivotal, foundational area that is often linked with future shock science fiction, and that is the association between technology and anxiety. So we will be looking at and talking about film that wrestles with our anxieties as technology continuously updates, evolves, and ultimately overtakes many of our daily practices. And as we are looking at technology, we will continue into a parallel theme in week 4, where we're going to look at technology in relation to surveillance culture. Surveillance culture begets a different strand of concern with the uses and perhaps abuses of technology and how they play a role in how we form, shape, and practice civil society. And finally, we are going to emerge with a thematic focus on class warfare and specifically women warriors as an emerging trope in future shock science fiction entertainments. And we're going to wrestle with some of the considerations for why this speaks to contemporary needs and perhaps even alternative solutions for dealing with the avenues and practices that create the situation wherein we find ourselves experiencing future shock. So join me as we tackle each of these 5 themes in COM 4103, Special Topics in Media Studies. Our emphasis this course, Future Shock Science Fiction.